Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to a very, very special live stream that we have in store for you today. I am traveling all across as much of the country as I can physically get to fish with all of my most favorite people in the world. And today I am streaming live from beautiful Tallwood City, Michigan, after having had a wonderful experience fishing au gray in Lake Huron, Saginaw Bay, with all of these gentlemen that we have right here. So, guys, we have a whole lot to talk about. I'm super excited to be doing this. And while we're talking about it, I have not had my fill of fishing. So I'm going to be fishing out here on the Tallwood River while we're discussing the weekend that we just had. For everybody who doesn't know, this gentleman to my left, right, or to my right over here, Mr. Steve from Holland Ash. I got Grant McIntosh right down there below, and then John from A&J Outdoors. Gentlemen, how is your Monday treating you?
Mine's great. Had a great Monday, other than the rain has not let up. Other than that, it's been good.
Grant?
We had a long drive home from seeing these three guys this weekend, and had a good drive home, good weekend. Glad to be home.
Been a quiet Monday around here. Audrey got a little sick on us, and so I've been.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, she's doing a little better now, though. But yeah, it's been a Monday, right? And Grant, that was an 11-hour or so drive that Grant just did, right? A little bit before this stream, he finished it. So if he dozes off on us, we all understand. And he is wearing one of the best hats in the stream.
That is a fine-looking hat. I noticed that just before we started.
Yep. And I got to say thank you to all three of you and a couple of the better halves that came along. Made this
for destroying your house?
No, man, we had a blast. Look, people don't know how big this house is. It's lit toll. We had 14 people in this house on Saturday evening and night. So it was quite the doo-ha. We had a good time. And then we had a fish fry. So there's a hint. There's going to be some video out there, but there's a hint of what might have happened, even though the weather was completely against us. Honestly, both boat captains would not have been on the water that day, except that we were all here, and so they made it happen. And that's Audrey's Uncle Leonard, who you've seen in past video, and this guy right up here. So with that, I'll leave it to some of you guys. What you got to talk about?
Yeah, it was not conducive conditions at all. If I would have been home and seen what was happening, I'd say, forget that. I got stuff to do around here. But having traveled 2.5 hours up there, and the fish are wet anyway, so we might as well put our raincoats on and just join them, right?
Yeah, that's what we did. That's for sure.
I had zero issues with any of the weather stuff myself. I thought it was for one, that choppy weather, I know that's never fun when you get out on a chop out on the lake, but it made for some really cool looking video. I'll tell you that.
Well, it does look cool, but what I did shoot is so windy. I can't really. I wish there wasn't quite so much wind, but it is kind of cool. Here we are with our raincoats on, water dripping off our brims, and we're out fishing at it. So that is kind of cool.
Yeah, really, the rain sucked, but that wasn't the big issue. The wind was the issue, folks. It was blowing 15 or better knots. And if those of you that know Saginaw Bay know that's not a good place to be when the wind's blowing like that. But we made it happen. We caught fish.
Yep.
Grant, how was your experience?
I liked it. It was a rough day yesterday. Well, let's start with Saturday. Well, Friday, the drive up there, it rained 10 out of the 11 hours. Well, we actually drove 10 hours. 9 out of the 10 hours, it Friday. Saturday, we had a 2.5 hour break where it really wasn't pouring. I think it sprinkled pretty much most of that time. Not the first time I fished in the rain. Not the first time I caught fish in the rain. Like Steve said, the fish are already wet. So,
yep.
But it was a good time.
I got to say something, Grant. I don't make mention of this enough in the video. I wish I had. But something that I do want to tell you personally, I want to tell everybody else out there, Grant is a silent assassin. That dude, he doesn't talk much. We all kind of see that on here. You know, we all know that. We're going to get you to talk more. But when he goes out, like he dragged us out bass fishing out on the jetty and out on the breakwater when we were in All Gray. And we go out, we're sitting there on the couch, we're hanging out at John's house, and he's like, hey, let's go fishing on the jetty. I was like, oh, man, I'm kind of tired. We just ate. We had a lot to drink. And, oh, let's go check out the jetty. Okay, well, I can't say no to that.
Yeah.
We get out there, and he's like, well, let's go check out this spot over here. Let's go further down. Let's go all the way up. Let's go. It's constant. This dude, he hits it harder than anybody else I know. Grant, you dragged me all over the place out there, and I guarantee, like, you guys, I didn't catch a damn thing, but you and Janet were killing it over there. And those are fish that would not have been caught if it wasn't for your work ethic. So I just wanted to tell you that. I have all the respect in the world for you.
Appreciate it.
Agreed.
Yeah, we drove all the way there. We might as well try to catch some fish. We caught a few extra from doing that off the bank, but some of them other spots we fished, we should have caught some fish.
You know, that's the thing too, Grant, is, it was a couple hour drive up there, and I normally probably wouldn't have went, but I kept thinking in the back of my mind, here's two fellows from Texas and a fella from Southern Illinois that drove all this way. I'll be damned if I'm going to disappoint them. I'm not going to be that guy.
You were not that guy.
We were going to get in the boat and we were going to go fish.
And another thing you can pull from Stanley's comments about how he wasn't worried about out there on the bay is because he had a complete trust in the captain of the boat.
You were absolutely right about that.
That's not even a joke. He knew he didn't even have to worry about it. He knew if Steve was comfortable going out there in that, then he's completely safe.
Yeah.
You're exactly right about that. And there was some discussion prior about how poor the conditions are. This is actually an important conversation. We had conversations behind the scenes about the conditions of the quality of the conditions and the rules. Nobody wants to be that wimp that causes the whole trip to go down. But there was rules set in place before we went out, and it was like, if there's lightning, if there's thunder, things like that, we're calling it, regardless of whose feelings we're going to hurt. We're going to do. Oh, that was a little pop. But that's something that anybody who goes out with a guide or a charter, that's one of those things that people don't really talk about too much. You go out with a guide or a charter, there's an expectation that these guys are going to take care of you out there. If you don't feel comfortable, you kind of need to be able to have that conversation. You're absolutely right. I was totally comfortable with Steve. I was totally comfortable with everything we were doing, and that was earned. He knew what he was doing. He had said all the right things. Be sure you go through those conversations if you're talking to a guide or a charter.
On that note, Stanley, I touched on it before. Sometimes people don't. How do I want to put this? Some people are very comfortable with fishing, and there's been lots that's been in my boat that are comfortable fishing, and I'm going to tell you, within the first 10 minutes, I could tell we were going to have a good day. Was not any issues, as far as any. There was no complaint.
He's like,
the weather.
You didn't throw up once. You weren't crying.
Yep. So, like Chris said, Dad, Stanley can fish in our boat anytime. And so you, Grant, we need to get you on Lake Erie.
Same thing on our boat. We had Grant and Janet both on the boat in that horrible conditions, and not one of them had an issue with it.
So we got July 4th this weekend. The following weekend I'm on call, but the following 3 weekends I'm not on call. So there we go, Steve. I'm waiting on you.
Man, you ready to come up to Michigan again already? Nice. I like that.
I can tell you, July 10th is out for me. I've got another thing that I've already been committed to, but we'll see if something else will work, Grant.
Very Absolutely. Cool.
Yep.
That is awesome. I like hearing that talk right there, guys. Love it.
Yeah, same here.
Yep.
Aiden keeps getting ever closer, so I'm just going to slide over and let him get right in here.
Yeah, jump in there, Aiden.
Yeah, come on in.
Aiden.
John, if these guys are getting together like this, that means you and I are going to have to get together. And, we might have to have like a little competition between the like a Mason Dixon competition or something. Or if that's inappropriate, then I apologize. You know what I mean, though. A North and South competition.
Oh yeah, heck yeah, North versus South, easy. So we'll go to the coast and catch sharks, and I don't know how they would ever top that.
Let's have a drum competition. Biggest drum. That's a common species.
There you go.
Well, I'll tell you, for the most part, I shy away from competitions because it's like I said, I got to compete in the world every day against other builders. I'll be damned if I want to go compete when it comes to fishing. But with you guys, we might do something like that.
Stanley,
like, I'm willing to wipe the floor with you.
Stanley, you got a bunch of family in the house, just to let you know, since you're not seeing the chat.
Guys, I apologize for not checking the chat. I did not get my fill of fishing, and I am out here trying to get some bass on the tallest river in Michigan. They're popping all over the place, but apparently I suck at what I do.
So, Stanley, real quick, for folks that have never been in Michigan or in the area of Taos, what is your impression of Taos?
Well, let me tell you first. That's a funny thing. I'm glad you brought that. You see, let me first explain to you where I'm at. If you go to Michigan, I'm here. I learned that from every single person in Michigan. If they explain anything to you at all, they do it by pointing to where they are at on your hand. So I'm right here. We were fishing down here. My first night was down here, and right now we're up over here. It's gorgeous. I was not expecting this. You know, I've spent time in Wisconsin. I fell in love with Wisconsin, with Rachel's family. That it is gorgeous up there. Just the water, the nature, everything is beautiful. We fell in love with Michigan in much the same way, because it's exactly everything that we loved with Wisconsin. We were actually planning on being out of here and back in Wisconsin today, and we took an extra day, and we might even take another day tomorrow just to enjoy this because it's so beautiful and we're just loving it so much. We're playing it by ear, but man, it is gorgeous over here.
Stanley, if you can, take a little bit of time, run up to Mackinac City and see the Mackinac and see the sites up there. Roger,
yeah, we're talking about having that as our return path. Yeah.
Yep.
That would be awesome. Mackinac is beautiful. Go to Mackinac Island and
spend a few dollars and cross the Mackinac Bridge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Heck, you're going to Wisconsin. You might as well go up the bridge through the UP over to Wisconsin. There you go.
That's what we were talking about doing. Rachel halfway wants to take the ferry across to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
But there's some things I want to see in North Wisconsin. It's pretty over there. We can't do Canada. That was our original plan. We got shot down on that one.
Yeah, Canada don't let us in yet. Come on, Canada. If you're watching Canada, what the heck? Let us in. We're nice. We're clean. We ain't got COVID. Come on, man. I should have said
yeah,
COVID.
I know that not all Americans set the best example, but I promise we're not the ones you need to be worrying about.
Yeah, Jerry Toner was asking if this is your first trip to Michigan, Stanley.
It is. Yeah. Like I said, I've done Wisconsin, but this was my first trip to Michigan. This was my first time setting foot on the shores of the Great Lakes, and that was my first walleye. For anybody who's been watching us on Instagram, I've been posting a ton of pictures there.
Grant, what about you?
Yep, my first time to be in Michigan. I was impressed. It's the country's pretty similar to Southern Illinois. A lot of beans and corn. First time I'd ever seen sugar beets. First time I'd ever caught a walleye. Thank you, John. Leonard. Yep. Big thanks, Leonard. Yeah, it was very pretty country. I definitely want to go back as soon as possible.
You are.
Yeah.
You are coming back.
That's awesome. I'd love to hear that.
Yep, you are coming back, Grant. So, anybody want to hear my ghost story yet?
All right, let me set up a precursor for your ghost story. So, Uncle Leonard lives next door to where we're at, and Steve and Chris, his son, stayed at Uncle Leonard's house upstairs. So his house is 2-story. Upstairs is a full house, bedrooms, bathroom, kitchen. Then downstairs where they stay now, same thing, full house, bedroom. So nobody stays upstairs that much now just because it's stairs. But all along, they have sworn that there was a ghost in that house. And Lindsay, their daughter, they tell stories about her sitting on her edge of her corner of her bed or whatever, talking to this ghost. So, of course, I've never believed any of that stuff. It's all, but we might have an actual experience from Mr. Steve Hall and Ash. So go ahead, Steve.
That has absolutely nothing to do with whiskey and beer. I'm going to throw that in there.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
When I was working in Wisconsin, I worked in an office, and we had this friendly ghost that we called G for ghost. And light switch would mysteriously turn off and on. Vacuum sweeper would be in different places from where we left it. So when Uncle Leonard said that there was a ghost upstairs, I thought, okay, well, they're friendly usually. I'm not the one that I encountered before. I didn't give it another thought, John. I really didn't. I had a sleeping bag. I had my own pillow. Chris and I went up, separate rooms. And when I got to the bedroom that I stayed in, there was 2 pillows on the bed. Since I brought my own pillow, I moved them over to the left side, and I slept on the right side. Anyways, in the morning when I woke up, I was pretty much in the same spot. Those 2 pillows, one, I put them up in the left headboard area. When I got up in the morning to make the bed, one pillow was on the floor, and I thought, well, I could probably kick that one off. But the other one, there's a white one up there, and it is super tight to get it in a pillowcase. That pillowcase and pillow were removed from one another, and the pillow was on the floor and the pillowcase was over by the window. I didn't do that in my sleep. I didn't. Believe what you want, but I thought, okay, well, I'm going to make the bed and I'm going to put everything back, and I'm trying to put that daggone pillow back in that pillowcase. It's so tight. It's a struggle. You go upstairs and you try to undo that pillowcase from the pillow, you'll see what I'm saying. But anyways, influenced or not, that's my ghost story, and I'm sticking with it.
So you had a ghost sleeping with you, huh?
Well, it was moving my pillow anyway.
Nothing pisses off a ghost more than an incorrectly stuffed pillowcase.
Oh. Have we given the people on the side chat a welcome in? I see HQ Productions, Danny Baker.
Speaking of which, we need to discuss Danny Baker. If y'all don't mind, would y'all mind getting to the comments in there? Let's get to everybody, see what everyone has to say. And then we need to get to the Danny Baker deal, if he's still here.
Janet said, or peaches. And what would Janet be referring to, guys, when she brings up peaches?
Right. I had one peach.
Soaked in what?
Peach.
Soaked in moonshine, I think it was. I'm really not sure.
Yes, it was.
Just one.
Just one. Okay.
One full peach.
I think Janet was actually sipping it. It was either her or Audrey. Maybe both of them.
Everyone
sipping it right out of the jar.
I seen Bonnie drink it right out of the jar too.
Yep.
We had a couple sips, Rachel and I.
Look, Peter,
there is a boat coming through here.
Your brother Peter said the same thing happened to him, but it turned out that my daughter crawled in bed from nightmares. She kicks in her sleep, plus she stole the blanket. So he's trying to say is your son Chris might have crawled in bed with you instead of a ghost.
Well, I would have known if Chris would have climbed in bed with me. I would have known.
Yeah,
I will say, I make fun, I make jokes and stuff like that. We do have some ghost stories, and I'm not gonna, maybe we'll do ghost stories on Halloween or something like that. I'm gonna refrain from doing them today, but I do have Peter and I have a couple good ghost stories. So, Steve, I give you a hard time, but I am a believer, my friend.
Well, you can give me a hard time. Like I said, that's my story. I'm sticking to it, right, wrong, or indifferent.
Me and Audrey actually have a couple also. So, yeah, I'm not beyond believing.
At least it was a friendly ghost.
Yeah,
he could have took the pillow and smothered me in my sleep.
I know. Well, I think it was taking that pillowcase off and it's going to wrap it around your neck and then the pillow over their face, and it just didn't get to it. Your son woke up and scared it or something.
Okay, so the Danny Baker deal. What's up with that?
Yeah. What is up with that, Danny?
No, he's
what
asking
happened?
you. He said, Danny Baker, what? He wants to know what you're talking about.
I thought he said his channel got deleted.
Oh yeah. Danny, what's up with that? That's right.
And also, while we're waiting on that response, gentlemen, and we can have a chat with anybody in the comments who has who wants in on this. But I had a meeting with TubeBuddy this afternoon, and they were really intrigued, and they thought it was a really cool deal that we were all collaborating like this. It's not often that you see this many people travel this kind of a distance.
That boat's going to run aground.
I know, right? It's just right there.
Holy
That's what I'm saying.
To him, Stanley.
I'm right on the edge of a boat ramp. But so TubeBuddy was really excited to hear all about us and what we're doing.
Uh-oh.
And they said that if there's anything we need from them to continue what we are doing, they would like to be a part of that.
Very cool. Go.
Such as what, Stanley?
Well, they want to know what we need. They want to say if there's any kind of feedback that we have for what they do, they're willing to take that into consideration. Yeah. Also, if anybody needs some assistance with their, we can talk behind the scenes, but if anybody needs some assistance with their actual licensing, that is something that is also on the table there.
Speaking of channels that got deleted, if I'm not mistaken, if HK2 Productions is still in the house, it seems to me like a couple of years ago, didn't your channel get deleted too?
Oh, that's right. I think he had an issue.
Danny, that sucks.
That?
So Danny said his ex-business partner deleted his email and all content.
Oh,
That okay, I'm not going to say go track them down and beat their, but that I would be tempted to do that. Just saying.
Is that not suable? Can you not sue for that?
You could get sued if you beat them, I guess. But I see what you're saying. I don't know.
I mean, I would think there's some liability in doing that.
Yeah, it doesn't sound legit for sure.
Wow, guys, I don't even know what to say about what just happened back here, John, but you absolutely called it. I don't know.
Did they run aground?
I don't know what's going on. It just grounded it.
Oh my!
Wow.
And look, you can't blame the weather or anything else. They just run it up on the ramp. It looks like
Yeah. Have you ever seen anyone do that before?
Oh yeah, but usually it's not a boat that big. Wow.
You know what they say? Free captain's license with every boat purchase.
There you go. Maybe they got kill guard on it, like the gator guard or something, and don't mind running it up on stuff. I know people that do that with bass boats.
It looks
and
like
other boats.
It's a fiberglass hull. I don't see nothing on there, but I
That's
will
a big
say
boat.
there is a particular odor.
Oh,
So I think that might have something to do with it.
Dang.
A little skunky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's legal here. It's illegal in Michigan, folks.
Little wacky backy.
Is there like an international boundary out on the lake? You know what I mean?
On Huron, right? Because Canada is on Huron.
Yeah.
So there is, but on Saginaw Bay, no. Saginaw Bay is fully within U.S.
Ben says we should have more than 4 video streams to invite guests. I think I just popped up. More than 4 video streams to invite guests.
And we have done that. We have had guests on previous shows. We'd like to find someone who's a little more diverse, like out of Florida or somewhere else, and bring them on to give some
Canada even.
local flavor. Canada, yep. We've had Florida.
California is the one we're hurting for.
Yeah, and you know what? We can talk back channel, but I found another group of Californians that maybe we can approach and see if any of them wants to jump in and join us one day. Danny, you're right. Boat ramp equals live entertainment. There are YouTube channels that are based solely on being at boat ramps, especially like.
And they're some of my favorite.
Well,
yeah,
maybe,
mine too.
Maybe Stanley should be doing some side footage of this and put a video out on it.
You know, I like making fun of that stuff, and I feel the same way with you on that. But for one, the rules of like what do you have to do, you know, for like blurring things is I hate dealing with that. And for two, I hate doing that to people. You know what I mean? I think about it every single time, but at the same time, I'm like, if someone's having a bad day or doing something stupid, I don't want to be that guy pointing them out.
We all need to see it, and if you don't do it, someone else will.
Well, you're right about that. You're right about that.
Jerry Toner made a comment about Canadians. Mike Borovic from Canada. I have talked to Mike Borovic, and I would love to get him on here with us. He said he would do it sometime. He's got a YouTube channel too. I think it's called Friday Fitches. I don't really recall what the name is. Anyways, he'd be a great one. A very knowledgeable person to have on here. And he's Canadian.
We've done Canadian and we've done Florida. Let's find the Great Northeast.
Alaska.
Yeah, Alaska, the Great Northeast,
that's a
California.
good one. We do need someone from Alaska.
Let's
We know
see, Jerry
some people
says,
out in like Oregon.
Yeah, Jerry says as long as they have a Hamby's beach bumper. Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 different brands of kill guards that you can put on the boat so that you can. Unfortunately, I haven't put one on mine yet, and I've already got it dinged up a little bit, so I got to do a little bit of work and then put one on to protect it the rest of its life, I guess.
I will say I was not aware of that. I didn't know they had a thing for that. Now, would I want to be putting it to use? Probably not like this. But I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah, a lot of bass fishermen do it because they pull the boat right up and park it right on the dang ramp.
I can see that, for like on a John boat. I do not on a beach. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do this.
Mine happened on Canyon Lake, where it was a beach area, but just a few feet in front of the beach, unbeknownst to me, was a rock ledge. And the rock ledge ate up my keel a little bit when we went to beach there.
Hey, Stanley, is Savannah around? Because she's going to come up to you and say, Dad, that cigar is not good for you.
I know. That's exactly why. They are 2 blocks away. And I kind of feel like I was looking at the time. I'm like, okay, we got 20 minutes. It's just enough time. I can have a cigar. Savannah's not looking. I feel like celebrating.
Yeah, Jerry, they're good to have on any boat, whether you plan to use it or don't plan to use it. If you come into contact with something, they'll protect your keel. There's certain ones. So the boat shop here was like, hey, I talked to them about the Gator Guard and another one. I think it was a Hamby something that you pull a strip off and you use the 3M stuff and you stick it on there. And they said the problem with those is they start coming off. This is their experience, right? And how they advise me. And then to remove it, because once it starts coming off, you got to get it off of there. It will rip your coat off your boat, right? So they recommended this one. I forgot the name, but it actually gets glassed onto your boat, so epoxied onto the boat. But of course, it's compared to the other ones because you can't do it yourself. Well, I guess you could if you're into doing that, but I wouldn't try that.
I will say I can't believe he's still sitting there with that thing. He's got people on the boat now. That blows my mind. Sorry, I know I'm sticking on that whole thing, but really, I've never seen anything like that. I would never do that. I would never do that with a boat.
You should walk over there and ask him if he's got a bumper guard there.
Yeah, you got a kill guard on there, buddy? What the hell you doing? We don't do that down in Texas, son.
I'm offended for the sake of your boat, my friend.
All right, so who else had a So you guys kind of got the idea. There's going to be some videos to watch so you get all the details. We had a great weekend, even though the weather tried to ruin it for us. So who else over there in the chat did anything this weekend? Had a great weekend. I know Jerry had quite the trip down to Ohio. I don't know if she wants to. Indiana, I'm sorry. Down there south somewhere. I don't know if she wants to expand on her experience any or not, but who else did anything this weekend?
I would like to hear some good things, Jerry.
Yeah, no, I'm waiting on an invite to come catch some of them 7-8 pound smallmouth from Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry, you already know Grant's willing to travel. He has rod, will travel.
You know you're going to get an invite, Grant. She'll take you out.
Pond Predator in the house. How you doing, buddy?
What's up,
Hey, what's up, man? How are you doing?
It was neat. It was neat to actually physically meet everybody, but it was like, what Stanley's introducing Rachel, like everybody doesn't already know Rachel, but but it's like I got to introduce her, because it's the thing to do. But it's like everybody already knows everybody. We just hadn't met in person. I mean, well over 2 years now we've all been talking.
Yeah,
Grant pulled a little longer.
Grant pulls up in the driveway. I'm out there. Gets out. Hey, man, Grant, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? It was like, we already know each other. There wasn't no get to know each other. You know what I mean? It was kind of cool.
I guess it's the first time meeting. What would you say, in 3D, something like that?
That's what I was just going to say. Seeing somebody in 3D was my I recognize everybody, but there's just it's how do you describe that? I don't know, where you recognize, I don't even know how to say it, but 3D is just the best way of putting it. So, who was taller and who was shorter than what you expected?
That is a good one. Go ahead, Steve.
Grant, I thought, because every time that I've seen Grant with his son, Grant's son is like 6'10" or something.
Yeah.
Grant's probably about 6'2". And Grant, what are you? Are you 6 foot?
No, my license says 5'11".
So that a little shorter than I expected, and Stanley was taller than I expected. I was thinking Stanley was, about my height or so. And when I go up to shake his hand, I got to look up at him. So,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I had already met the two guys up top. So this is my first time meeting Grant. And I kind of had the same feeling. I thought he was a little taller than me from videos. I don't know why, but we're pretty much same height.
Yeah.
I'm actually 5'11" and a half, Grant, just so you know.
It's funny. We're all right there. We're like, you see that picture of us. We're all like pretty close to each other on that one. Grant, I did expect you were going to be about my height. I had dreams that in a different day and age, you and I would have played basketball together.
Look, for everybody else, Stanley is at least 6'3", right? So, yeah, we're not all about the same height.
No.
And Steve, what are you,
maybe before
6'1"?
back surgery.
I'm 6 foot even. I was 6'1" in high school, but because I'm old, I've shrunk.
Okay, that's what happened.
I was going to say, I was probably the shortest guy there.
Barely.
Yeah,
Barely.
Steve's taller than I was expecting.
That's good.
I think I would have guessed that. It's no offense, because I kind of figured we'd all be about the same, but no offense to you or anything. But John, I kind of thought you'd have been the shortest personally. And you're not short. I'm not trying to put you in there, but or I guess maybe the two of you are pretty close.
Yeah, me and Grant are within a half inch of each other. So, and me and Steve are within a half inch of each other. The three of us are within an inch of each other, basically.
That's
You're the tower of power, and then there's us.
Peter's got a hell of a comment on that. So I'm the oldest out of my brothers, and you're going to see more of my youngest brother. He's moving down from Vermont this fall.
He's moving.
It's good. We're going to have some fun with that, because Luke's actually the best fisherman out of all of us. But I'm the oldest, and it's so reversed in my family. It's me, Peter, and Luke as far as age, but as far as height, it's the exact opposite. Luke's the tallest, and Peter, and I'm the shortest.
Yeah. And your dad's tall, even, right?
Yeah, he's like 6'6".
Yeah, so bunch of giants. Now Jerry, I would never thought it from any of the pictures and stuff that I've seen, but Jerry Toner said she's 6'2". And I think Steve told us that in another live stream that she was taller. So she's taller than all three of us.
And first time I met Jerry, I met her. It was her and another one of her friends. I don't know how tall her friend is, but she's tall too. So it's like I got my picture taken between these two ladies and the short one. I can't even say I'm the rose between two thorns. I'm just the short one compared to these two ladies. And then this last couple of weeks ago, Jerry Toner won a prize and got to get a picture taken. So she scrunches down to be the same height as I am. And I said, Jerry, don't do that. Stand tall and proud, Don't spread.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Hey, Jerry, when you're going to hang out with Steve, just bring a little wooden platform that he can stand on so, he
A
feels
little
tall
soapbox.
like you.
Another person that's tall just entered the chat is Justin Randall. I was surprised the first time I met him. It's like, holy shit, he's got to be Stanley Orchard tall. He's got to be 6'3", 6'4".
Stanley Orchard tall.
You hear
He
that,
said-
Peter? It's not Peter Orchard tall.
We just haven't met Peter yet. That's all.
Yeah, you'll be seeing some him. We got Sharkathon coming up, and I plan on hiring him to be my actual cinematographer for that gig because we're going to put some time and money into it.
That'll be cool.
I gotta say something just popped in my head. One of the favorite lines while we're out fishing, I'm trying to introduce, the beginning of the video, and you'll see it. And I'm telling that, I've got everything set up on my side of the boat. I'm going to go up in the front here, and now this is Stanley's side of the boat. And Stanley, I got my own side of the boat. That was hilarious at the time. Doesn't sound funny here, but it was.
And then the first thing that happens is Chris is working on something. He's got the other side of the boat. He's working on something. I forget what. But one of his rods goes off. And as we're all aware, we all know what's going on and everything, but the very first rod to go off with Chris's, and I wasn't having it. I jumped over Chris to get his rod out of his hole, get that fish.
That's fine because he's done that to me before too. So I'm glad you did.
We started the day with that. Like this side is Janet's side and this side is Grant's side. But the fish we caught came on Janet's side. So Grant did snake her last fish.
It was the same.
Same collar harness. Yeah. They like that purple.
Justin Randall says he's 6'5". I knew he was tall. I mean, I had to look right up at him.
Bait the Hook is in the house. How you doing, Bait the Hook?
What's up, Tim?
What's up, man?
Gentlemen, I am dry. I'm going to have to create another drink. I'm
Me
going to
too.
mute my mic, but you can watch me make.
Go ahead. We'll go.
I would have
Go
thought
ahead. What were you saying?
I would have got him a drink. Are you muted too, Stanley?
I am not. I'm just enjoying the scenery.
Yeah.
Just everything back here. I mean, you got the sunset back over here. You've got this little, whatever that little inlet is. I don't know. It looks awesome though. And I bet you there's all kinds of fish hanging out in it. I can't catch them. But just everything over here. I'm just loving every moment of it.
Yeah. Looks nice.
I'll keep switching positions so everybody can see it. So yeah, you were talking earlier about that you I don't know, I don't remember how you put it, but something to the effect of like you felt comfortable with me being on the boat in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
There's rules and etiquette that you follow, especially like the first time you're on somebody's boat. And the very first fish of Chris's, when he caught that, there was a split-second decision of, do I maintain etiquette or do I get that fucking fish?
You get that fish.
I went for that fish.
Absolutely.
You can always apologize later.
Oh, no. He does the same thing to me. I mean, you crawled right over the top of him. That was great. I was loving it. Get the hell out of my way.
Ben, I was casting and failing with one of those guys. If you can see that, okay? I love this thing. That's what I got tore up on over the weekend, but I haven't caught anything yet. And then I had another one, a crappie setup that also failed me so far.
Nice.
And it ain't working for me, but I have faith in it. It just hadn't worked for me yet.
Bait the Hook's wondering if there's going to be any videos. Yeah, there will be videos, brother. Just watch all of these channels. And, of course, links are down below. But there will be videos coming out about the weekend. Now, I'm still up here till the 10th of July. So I'm hoping to find a way to get back on the water between now and then and catch a few fish. But Grant's got his microphone muted, so he doesn't feel like talking to us. No, I'm kidding, Grant.
Grant's going to be he's going to be hooking up with Holland Ash and Jerry Toner here pretty soon, sounds like, for some videos.
I did want to say, so like I said earlier, we had like 14 people in this little bitty house. the kitchen was full of people, and I got to sham. Usually fish fry, whatever, I'm front and center in there cooking. You know that, Steve, the last time you were up here. But yeah, we had a couple spouses jump in and do all the fish frying, and then Audrey, of course, was cooking up the fresh shrimp that we went out and hand caught in Saginaw Bay, and so we had shrimp. Bonnie made some stuff, Leonard's wife, and they brought it all over, and it was just a feast. And I really didn't have to do anything but sit in my chair and enjoy it. So, thank you to everybody that assisted.
Yes, Janet, and Rachel for cooking everything up, the fish. Justin Randall makes a comment about the catfish, and I know he's kidding us, but I'm telling you what, that was delicious. I'm not throwing them away again. Now that I know how to clean one, that was good.
Yeah.
My whole thing on conservationism, on conserving fish, it's not catching redfish and releasing them. Catch the other things that nobody cries about and eat those.
Yeah.
That's conservation in my book.
Yeah.
Well, that catfish was good. Janet did it up right.
I don't know if there's a fish in the Saginaw Bay that wouldn't taste good if you cooked it, but just a lot of people from generations of, that's not a good fish, just don't eat them. So that's more for the rest of us, the way I look at.
Yeah.
Well, that's like when you were, I think it was John was saying something in front of Janet about catfish, trash fish, and she was like, or no, it was Steve. He said that's when he was saying he would keep them. And she was confused because she didn't know that you guys considered them trash fish.
Yeah. Anytime we ever catch them, throw them away, or if somebody's in the boat that wants them, okay, well, you can keep it. But personally, I've never kept one to eat. I've ate them at Texas Roadhouse, but I've never kept one that I caught to eat. And after eating that catfish that Janet cooked up, it was good eating.
And I'll say this about catfish. A lot of people, when you eat them out of a grocery store or at a restaurant, those are farm raised. And they're okay, but if you catch them in a good body of water, right, like Saginaw Bay, they're better, right? They taste better than those farm raised, just so you know. And Bait the Hook is asking you, Grant, any walleye eaten? Did you eat any walleye, Grant?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we used the bread crumbles and Bisquick for the breading. So that was new to me. Janet, when she fries fish, it's cornmeal, salt, pepper, regardless if it's bass, bluegill, crappie, catfish. So the breading was different for sure, and it had a really good texture, good flavor. Walleye is very good eating fish.
Yeah.
That was part of the fun, was experimenting not only with the different species, but the different kinds of breading. We did drum. We didn't get around to cooking that, and John, I apologize for that. I forgot about that, but that's still in your fridge, and I'm sorry about that. I was really looking forward to trying it.
I'll be honest with you guys. A bunch of people said we didn't cook the drum, but drum got cooked because there's only a few little. Yeah, there's a container about that big with a few scraps of fish in it in the fridge. Everything else got cooked. Now, I remember when I walked in the kitchen and I looked at the fish. You remember how the backside of the drum looked like it had a good bloodline on it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That fish was being cut up and cooked when I walked in there. So people don't know it. They might have thought it was the catfish, but they had catfish, drum, and walleye that night.
As my brother-in-law says, tell him it's walleye.
There you go.
Apparently it's not too bad.
It's not.
Real quick, Blue Lines 5.0 says, Stanley, how would you rate that kind of fishing from South Texas surf fishing? It's different. It's like the style is totally different, and that's kind of where a good portion of the fun comes from, is that it's such a new experience. You have glassy conditions, you have, I don't know, you feel a little bit more refreshed at the end of the day. We beat ourselves up in the surf. You're in the surf, 2 and 3 foot waves, they're just beating you up when you're out there. With what we were doing every single day, I mean, like, different muscles are sore because I was walking on a jetty and hopping around rocks, and their rocks are not like the rocks on our jetties. They're smaller. Our jetties have bigger rocks, so they're easier to walk on. But I'm not getting beat up in the surf. So it's like different muscle groups that are sore. And at the end of the day, I'm a lot more relaxed. I'm not as sunburned. I'm not as, I don't know, just kind of beat to death. The fish itself is that I think that's an entirely different conversation, to be honest with you. The fish itself, walleye, I would compare to sheep's head, I think, flavor wise and quality wise. In my opinion, that's like a real high one up there. If I'm offending anyone, I don't mean to. And by sheep's head, I mean saltwater sheep's head.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to clarify that for Michiganders. I think,
yeah.
Freshwater drum or sheep's head. Also, for everybody, we didn't just go out on the boat the one day in the horrible weather. These guys over here were out there on, we call it breakwall, where the river enters the bay and it's built up to protect the river. Down south in Texas, we're going to call that a jetty. But they were out there fishing that a couple days. They fished the river itself some, and then since then, Stanley's been up fishing in Tawas, and they've caught largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, got broke off by big fish. So it wasn't just the one day on the boat.
Was that your first time using planer boards, Stanley?
Yeah, we use outriggers where I'm at.
Okay.
And I have some things to say about that. I don't know which is better. I prefer outriggers, but I understand the value. Having done it now, I understand the value of planer boards versus outriggers.
Yeah, similar.
Yeah.
Just covering more area as you troll.
Yeah.
I think you can cover more area. Yeah, you can cover more area with a planer board. I think you can get them farther out away from the boat than you can with an outrigger. Yeah. Outriggers, you don't have to mess with everything on your line. When something takes your lure, it pops off the outrigger, and then you're just fighting the fish. Yeah. But fighting the fish is actually real similar to how you're fighting a walleye. You just get them in the boat.
Is Chris in the house?
Yeah. Yeah.
There he is.
There's
What's up, Chris? How are you feeling, man?
I'm sore. Stanley's wrestling mate.
Yeah, my buddy.
So, Chris, I got to ask. Did your dad sleep with a ghost, or did you get in bed with him?
I didn't tell him the story. Not the ghost. Yeah, not the ghost. They think maybe it was you that crawled in bed with me instead of the ghost.
So, Chris, well, everybody did, but Chris specifically, Audrey gave him, hey, our house is up here in Eau Gray. We're not here. It's vacant. If you want someplace to stay in Eau Gray, come up and stay in the house. So he got that invite. I think everybody got that invite.
Yeah. So. Well, we got to go back up because I left my boots up there.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, dumbass.
He always leaves something.
I left my camera up there. I left that specifically so that I could come back and get a return trip, and I got called out for it. Now it's your turn, Steve. You don't get to play that game.
Justin Randall says, next time plan on coming to Lake Erie, the best fishing area. Justin, Grant's coming up like in the next 3 weeks to a month. And maybe we'll just get you to go along with us.
That's good.
That would be fun. Get four of us in the boat. Especially Justin, because, that guy knows how to fish for walleye.
That'd be good.
Yep.
And we had those discussions about Lake Erie, too. We were talking about Saginaw is one of the best walleye fisheries in the world. But apparently Lake Erie is just producing a little bit better at this point in time.
Yeah. Yep, it is.
Mm-hmm.
So we did have that conversation.
Did either one of you guys up there get the moment that the planer board's about crossed on video?
I wish.
No.
I was
having too much fun sitting there, like showing off the fish and rubbing it in, and there's going to be some of that in the video too. We're laughing about what happened behind the scenes as to why I was sitting there and doing that. But
I don't even know
we'll have
how
to wait for the video on that.
We were in the process of getting the fish off, and Stanley's over there showing off his fish, and we're coming like this. The next thing you know, look up, and these planer boards are all coming right at each other. And thankfully, these guys, right, grabbed them and cranked them in. They're two outside ones as quick as they could and just kept them from – I mean, we were that close from having a super ugly mess.
I seen it coming. I forget the exact order of things, but I seen it coming. I looked and I seen Uncle Leonard's boards were very close. I mean, you could just see they were going to come in.
Yeah.
And I forget what I was doing, but I just stopped. I grabbed the top rod and I told Stanley, I says, grab that second rod and reel like a MFer.
Yeah.
And we just cranked like crazy, and we got him in. I swear to God, you could see their board slide right past ours.
The two boards, the boards crossed, and then there's that 10-second where nobody breathed because we were waiting to see if the boards were going to go under from the lures hitting each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
I told Uncle Leonard, I walked up to him afterwards when we were back at John's house, and I put my hand on his shoulder, and I says, you know what? If you'd have done that down on Lake Erie, I'd have sent a flare gun at you. If I didn't know the guy.
Oh, man, it was crazy. It was crazy. We had a lot of excitement on the lake. So
that would have been fun. We've had that part of the video, though. I mean, if there was a way to film that, that would have been cool.
You got to keep the camera rolling the whole time.
We need a camera guy, Stanley, in our boat.
Yep.
Yeah. We will have to have that discussion in the future. Everybody needs to have that discussion because I know something, it pisses us all off. And anybody that we go with, it pisses them off. Being guys who create fishing videos on YouTube, when you catch a fish, it's hit record, hit the line in that order. And that pisses it, unless the other one is hit stop on the radio, hit record, hit the line. And that pisses so many people off. Exactly. That's my thing. No radio. Radio pisses me off. So yeah, having a person on board like filming a camera worth their weight in gold. If you want to be somebody's best friend, offer to film for them.
You want to get on their boat? Offer to film for them. Yeah.
Offer to film for them.
I mean, I did horrible filming that day. First, the conditions were horrible, but secondly, it was just we had so much going on, with planer boards and the weather and everything. That was just really hard to focus on filming. So
there's one scene, Stanley sent it to me. I didn't film it. I was at the back. I think I was taking off a planer board or something, but my camera's going, and Stanley's reeling in the fish, and then you can, I'm watching and I can't see what's going on behind me. And I remember telling him, keep your rod tip up. Well, at that point, he had his camera and he was trying to hold it and reel in the fish at the same time. And the camera just went kind of sideways. And I don't know if we caught the fish or if it got off or what, but I thought, man, that's the time to have a camera fixed and not have to try to reel and
dang it, Stanley.
Time.
Oh, I got the footage and it was that 360 camera. So it's going to come out smooth. And I've already seen the footage on that. I got a good shot of Steve netting up the fish and everything. That having been said, we had two cameras there. I had my 360 going, and then he had his camera fixed behind me. So on his camera, I'm going to look like a freaking idiot. Holding that 360 and reeling it in, I'm going to look like a dumbass. My shot is going to look good.
We want to see.
You can't see me on my shot.
We want to see Steve's footage.
Well, I don't think you got any footage of me catching the fish and you netting.
I did. I got you.
I asked Stanley if he would send that to me because I went to net Chris's fish and I completely missed it. And I'm thinking, oh no, that fish is going to get off. It went out, looped around. Chris brought it back, and pretty much he kind of just lifted it. I've just got the net underneath in case it falls off the hook, and he just pretty much boated it himself.
Nice.
I'm pretty confident I got that shot. I've got over 2 hours worth of footage I got to dig through to find it, and that's between literally three cameras, my 360, my camera, and Steve's camera. But I've got that footage. If I already have all of that stuff on the drive for everybody, so you can filter through that if you want to try. If not, I'll be filtering through it in the next week. I'll try to find it, but it is going to take me a little bit of time to track it down because this is a lot of footage.
Yeah.
So we're getting shorter on time. We got about 6 minutes left, and questions have come up. Have we discussed the next get together of the outdoors crew? And we have, and we haven't said, hey, on this time we're all going to be here at this location. But first, we've all said, well, I remember this guy up here specifically that Saturday night. This should be an annual event. We should do this every year. And I'm like, yeah, I come to Michigan every year because we have a house up here. So every summer I want to get up here. But also the discussion was, hey, we need to all go to Texas. We got two of us out of the four in Texas. Bring the other two down there who neither of them have been fishing in Texas and do a Texas trip. So it's going to happen. Have we ironed out anything yet? No, but it's in the works.
I actually have been fishing in Texas.
Oh, when did you come to Texas?
My mom went went to college, nursing school in Killeen, Texas.
Okay.
And I have some memories of fishing down in the creek by myself with some corn and catching some brim with sunfish, bluegill, whatever you want to call them.
Perch down here. Down in Texas, they call every small fish a perch.
Everything's perch.
Even though there's only one real perch called the log perch in Texas, but they call everything a perch.
That's been 30 years ago, so I'm ready to catch another one.
You haven't been to the salt yet either, and that's
True.
the main focus.
True.
Yeah, that's the one I'm gearing up to get everybody into, reds, sharks,
Right.
stuff like that.
The beach. Oh, man.
Florida, Janet's saying next one, Texas or Florida, and I do not disagree with that.
Yeah.
As much as I would love to have everybody on my home turf, I would dearly love for everybody to get together with a bunch of Hawaiian shirts in Florida.
Yeah. Florida's a good call, too.
Either way, we got to go south.
Yep.
And David Martin says Stanley was in Grant's neck of the woods. We were this close to each other.
Yep.
I'm assuming you just popped in. We just got done collaborating with multiple. I went bass fishing with Grant, and we both went and got our first walleye out on Saginaw Bay.
Yep.
What
That was this weekend.
What David Martin's referring to, we actually talked on our drive home. I told him you stayed in Cape Girardeau Thursday night.
So, yeah. We talked about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, when you were in Cape Girardeau, you were about an hour from our house.
Wow.
Danny Baker says, how about a viewer meetup? And I know, John, when you made a post today on Facebook, Jerry Toner said something about she'd like to come up too. Maybe that is something. It'd be different collaboration or whatever. But, if others want to come up and join in, that'd be cool. I
said the more the merrier.
I agree. I mean, we got to do our outdoors crew thing, but we can throw together a big cookout and have everybody in the area that we're in want to come and hang out with us. That would be awesome.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Some of them viewers will bring a nice boat and say, "Get on our boat." So you never know.
guys, this is the opportunity. I guarantee anybody who's got a boat and is that generous and such a wonderful human being is to invite us out on their boat, I promise we will make you look good on camera.
Well, if you look earlier in the chat, Justin Randall said, "Come on, let's go on my boat. It'll fit 4." So he's already offered and volunteered. And we fished in his boat. That's a nice boat to fish walleye out of. In fact, Chris wants to buy it, Justin, when you're done with it.
David Martin says his wife just gave him permission.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jesse, how are you doing? He says, cookout food, I'm in. And that's what I'm talking about. Going out. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. We go get just a mess of fish and cook them up for everybody.
Yeah.
Fishes and loaves, man.
Yeah, you know what? For me, guys, the fishing and being out on the boat is awesome. But the part I enjoy more is when we're just sitting around afterwards, eating some fish, drinking a drink, and just BSing and sharing stories. That's the part that is the most fun for me.
Yeah, I'm going to say, as far as drinking the drink, I drank more drinks than I've drank in a long time. And my belly shows it this weekend. So does my liver.
Well, you can drink water if you want.
Oh, man.
I have to say, so my one big mistake that I made this time, and I'm not making this mistake again, and we did talk about this, but regardless, my one regret is that I did not get more of the what happened afterwards. Us all hanging out, having a good time, eating, drinking, enjoying each other's company. In my personal opinion, we talked about this, it's like, I want to shut the camera off. I want to enjoy that time with each other.
Yep.
I don't want to be shoving a camera in people's faces. I'm nixing that rule. I'm filming it because I want those memories. I want that on camera. That's what I want to be able to share, is that experience, that camaraderie. So we're going to have to redo the rules on that just a hair.
And Janet makes a good point. It was great when everybody was in the kitchen cooking and hanging out. Yep.
Yeah, it was a good time. Well, you are at your time limit there, Mr. Stanley Orchard.
That is right. It is time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We have been having just the most fun. I can't even describe it, and it just makes it all the more fun that we're able to sit here and hang out and share that experience and just get to talk and everything with everybody that's in here. Thank you. I really, really appreciate you being here and hanging out with us and just having a blast. What do we have coming up this week, gentlemen? And then we will get it out the door. Anybody getting their videos out?
Probably not.
Not me.
I'm gonna try.
I hope, since I'm still up here, I hope to get out there and do some more fishing. I don't fly home to Texas until the 10th of July, so I got some time. So I hope to get out there and fish a little more. So who knows what'll happen with that? So we'll see. Maybe a live stream fishing. Who knows?
We might be doing another live stream. Yeah.
I want to look through Stanley's some of his footage and see if I can incorporate some of that into what I shot. So it might be a while before I get around to making a video of this trip.
And I will make that a priority, getting you those shots that you're talking about, so you can get
no rush, Stanley. Not in any rush. Just you're on vacation. Take your time. No rush.
I'll get it squared away for you. So on that note, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We had an absolute blast, and we look forward to seeing you. Who's got next Monday? That'd be Mr. John from A&J Outdoors. You can subscribe to anybody who you haven't already done so. Their links are in the description down below. And also, just before everybody leaves, I have one thing I want to say. There is she is a bass fisherman. She's in high school out of Florida. She's a little bit of a buddy of ours on social media. Her name is Cricket Coates. She is saving up money, or she's trying to raise money. She has, I don't know what that's called, but she's going to nationals as a bass fisherman.
Qualified. Yeah.
She's qualified. She's qualified for nationals. She has to raise $3,000 in order to do that. She has already raised $2,000. We are, I'm asking on behalf of anybody who's supporting on that, that you check out the link for her GoFundMe page in the description down below. We're all trying to give whatever we can to help her out along her journey and getting her into nationals. And she's a really, if you know her on social media or anything, she's just a lovely human being, a great person. Her family are really nice people. So if you have anything that you can help to contribute with that, we would very much appreciate it. And Cricket, if you see this afterwards or anything, good luck to you, ma'am. We look forward to seeing what you're able to do in nationals. I hope to see you take it all the way this year. Cool. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we will see you in the next video.
Cheers.
Later.
Peace out.